Sometimes we commonly put literature review simply as a summary and forget that it is just a disjointed summary. There is no linkage between what the studies which you are putting together. It is important that you create a common argument or in a way link all of them so that you are in a position to make sense even if it is with differing opinions, differing thoughts or conflicting ideas. Review should not be built around one single point. You can emphasize the points which you see as a mistake or which are often viewed as some gaps in the literature that cannot be the prime argument around which you complete your literature review. Generally, the error which we make is we have a biased approach. We look only what we want to look. Say for example, I am trying to justify my study and I put that all studies in the past, they have made this mistake, so I am the real Einstein who are going to see it in a new perspective. But that does not happen. It is important that we respect others' work, in that we have the right to look at the other side of the picture and let your audience see that this could be the other way of looking at the problem. So, being or progressing in your literature in a limited way, putting together irrelevant material. Sometimes the error we also conduct is that we omit out the latest literature. By that time I had compiled my study, by that time I had finished my review. No justification. It is always an edge if you can put in the latest current material, current literature in your study, which gives more weight. It adds to the reverence which the audience, the analyzer or the one who is judging you would put in you. He would have more respect just to see that you are more committed and keep yourself abreast of the latest in your field. So, these are the common errors which we should avoid to make a good literature review. Alright, now when we are actually going into the exercise of reviewing the literature, what should be the preliminaries? What should be the idea? How do we prepare for our literature review? For that, I put forth some points which will help us build the ground, which will help us lay the level field, and then we can perform over it. So, I put this as the preliminaries for literature review or even the preparations which we need for literature review. Primary thing, clarify. Clarify means you should be clear in your mind what you are going to do, which can come either from your mentor or from the requirements of the research funding agency or from the guidelines given by your teacher, the PhD guide, somebody who is a senior in your field and can help you what to explore, what are the common sources from where you can get the relevant material. Sometimes students are also comfortable if they get an idea about roughly how many sources do I need to search. What would be the main focus area? Like say, the guide, the mentor tells you that we are looking for what could be the alternate strategies to explain the mechanism of governance. So, in that case, to understand alternate, you would first find out what are the original strategies, what have been resorted to. So, clarification comes from all angles. We can also sometimes get an understanding that the latest material in this topic you get from these specified journals, or what could be the other sources which can help you build a huge repertoire, a huge depository for resources. What are the underlying concepts? What are the probable areas which need to be touched upon? So, primary, the first thing which I would emphasize is clarification, a clear mind. That means, if you know how cold the water is going to be, you are prepared, and accordingly you will try to acclimatize to it the earlier. So, understanding the concept or what are we going to find out. Common day, I found a bunch of students, they were hurriedly searching for something, and one of the other student of the many, one was standing in a corner. I asked him, why are you here and what are the others doing? He said, I am not going into the crowd simply because I do not know what are they searching. If he knew what is to be searched, his search would have been easy. And this is what I mean by clarification. And where you get the clarification, if you are lucky enough, your guide, your mentor, or sometimes a preliminary study in some short studies which you can find in your related field. So clarification gives you the confidence, gives you the broad map to which then you can start your journey. After clarification, the second one I put is finding models. We have grown up in the field of research understanding that it will be effective research only when I can find out a model. And model, especially in social sciences, it is not a hardcore model which we can build. Model means the relationships, the understanding of the pattern. Like say for example, what affects NPAs in banks. In order to understand the problem of NPAs in banks, we try to find a relationship. Say for example, a bank is large in size, so it lends out more. If it lends out more, there are chances of more doubtful debts, and then it could lead to bad NPAs or more volume of NPAs. So this is a very rough and a very short form or smaller form of a model. When we grow up in the problem, we are talking about multifaceted problems. This understanding of models makes tasks easy. And sometimes if they are well founded, if you are well informed, if you can think out of the box, it is these models which pave way for your identification, for your strong personality in the research field. So a rough sketch of how we are going to proceed, how we are expecting the relationships in between the variables to reflect, how are they going to affect each other. This is affecting this, so this would be the result. Okay, this can affect A can affect B, but in the same time B can affect C. So this relationship, if we can decipher, though not in the beginning completely, but if a broad idea, a rough sketch can be built, our journey can be smoother. So second I would say is that we have to build models. Third one is narrowing your topic. See, they call this as a funnel approach. Of course, we start from a broad theme. We try to be as broad so that we do not miss on any point. And when it is broad, we let it trickle down to a narrow area. And in this area, when we are preparing for review, our search would be such that we start from a general topic and from them we come to a specific topic. So for focused searching of material, for focused reading of material, and even for defining the scope of your work, we say that narrowing the topic is very, very important. And narrowing means moving from general to the specific one. It does not mean that you are just talking about one small strand. It simply means that since you cannot cover everything, you come from a broader area to a specific area and then to a focused area. And this will direct our searching. And then next is we ensure that the sources are current. See, today we are living in dynamic times. We are living in times when things are changing like anything. So changes are there in perspectives, they are there in opinions, they are there in methods. In finance, if we talk, look at the type of data we have. We are coming from the times when the data was available either on monthly basis or on weekly basis, and now we are in the time when we have high frequency data. We have tick by tick data. So this is change in times. Earlier we were talking about simple. People thought they have done their thesis on chi-squares, percentages. But today we are talking about sophisticated research techniques. We are talking about concepts of intermediates, moderating effects, mediating effects. So in order to gauge, in order to sublime it all to a comprehensive capsule kind of a thing, we need to ensure that our sources are current. I say I am talking about, I took up my research in 2018. By the time I go and I am compiling my work, I may reach 2022. Is that then justified that I restrict my search only to the material of 2017? This would put us on a back foot. And in order to avoid that, it is important that we ensure that all our sources are current. It is important that when we are checking the basics, the preliminaries, the checkpoints of our research, we ensure that whatever possible is covered, and then from that we sift the important and keep our focus on it. I repeat, we are talking about a funnel approach. Here, it is also common that students, they start from specific topic. In that case, we are not justifying research. When you start from a broader topic, you are justifying that of the entire area, I searched, I put together these studies, and from them I am making sense and trickling down to this area because of its relevance, because of its dynamism, and that justifies your research. So it is important that we check these preliminaries with regards to clarification, building of the models, ensuring that your material is relevant, and restricting, having a focus, and your playground, your field is leveled, and then you can go in for research.